How's it? Today's Wednesday, January 27th. It's the fourth day in my clean and jerk progression. It's the last day that I'm going to be doing block powers, at least at this high volume, according to Steve. So we'll see. We'll see. Last week I did five triples for both the power jerk and the block power clean. But today he said to kind of just fall in a range of 9 to 15 total reps at my top weight. So I flipped a coin via Amy by asking her to pick a number, even or odd, and whatever she picked would be whatever I did. So I did my fourth set, so four triples, and then the last deciding factor was her. So then she picked the number that I assigned to no. I don't remember what it was, but that meant that I just ended up doing four triples for both the power jerk and the clean and jerk. Or sorry, the block bar clean. So here is my first set at 100. Last week I did 95 for both of them, and then this week I did 100 for both of them. I think the power jerks are not particularly challenging. I think I don't have to think too much about them as far as positions. The only position I'm really thinking about is my dip, and I'm just trying my best to make sure that I have a kind of shallower dip, or at least on the shallow side, and my hips do sit a little bit back. And I think I'm executing pretty well on them, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think when I moved into the block power cleans, I actually found a extra set of those rubber mats. So the last 3 weeks I've been doing block power cleans off of one rubber mat and then whatever highest block they had. So at the beginning of this, they didn't have the taller blocks. They had only it's like two of the same height and then two smaller ones. But I would end up using the taller one, and then Khalil brought in the bigger one. Here's my last set. Sorry, Khalil brought in the bigger ones, and then I was lifting off of one mat with the bigger ones. And today I found a second pair of mats, so I'm lifting with two layers of mats, and then the tall block. So I think it's a little bit higher than, I'm for sure it's a little bit higher than it was last week, but here are here's my setup if you can see it. These cleans are really easy. It's only 60. These are also very easy. It's only 80. So I think I started at 85. I think that was the number I started at. 85, 90, 95, and then 100. Yeah, so today would be the 100 for the fourth week. That's my last warm up, and here's my first set. I think these are a little bit harder than the power jerks. You see my friends at the back there, Audie and Liz. But yeah, these are a little bit harder than the power jerks are, and I had to kind of like mentally prepare for what I was about to do, before every set. Whereas the power jerks were just me kind of moving through through the positions. But I think overall, my first rep for each of the block power cleans is really, really solid. My timing, my speed, my positions are all pretty good, and then it kind of hits a little bit of variance for the second and the third rep. It feels like I'm pulling a little bit longer on the not first reps. So here's my last set here. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Like that. On my last rep there, pretty solid for where I am. After that, I moved into my clean straight leg deadlifts. These are not the most clean. That was not intentional. These are not the nicest straight leg deadlifts I've ever done. That's just a warm up set, but even at the top set at 115, they're not super precise like I normally am for these types of lifts. And I did go back and watch them when I was lifting, and I was mildly disgusted with what I was looking at. So here's my first weight. You can see there that my lower back doesn't maintain extension completely. And for me, that's the problem. Like that's why I'm doing these. So if I'm doing them so poorly as to let my hip or my lower back go into flexion, then what am I really doing, right? I think I do try and clean up a little bit for each of the following sets, but it's still not quite where it was at a lighter weight, and it's definitely not where I want it to be at this weight. Last week I did 110, and so maybe I should have just stayed at 110 this week. It's something that I mentioned on Monday, I think, that for these accessory lifts, like if the main lifts that I'm working on do progress, then me staying at the same weight for my accessory lifts is still progressing. Even though technically, when I look at them individually, the accessory lift is stagnating. The virtue of me adding higher intensity or higher volume or whatever on the accessory lift, or sorry, on the main lifts, Audi in the back, on the main lifts means that I am still progressing, overall, because I don't have a day in between me doing the power jerks and then the block cleans and then the straight leg deadlifts. So it's me all in the same day using the same body, all the same amount of energy and everything. So everything that I do does affect what I'm able to do later in the workout or even the next day or the next week. So yeah. After that, I did my seal rows, 135. That's pretty big for me. My dumbbell overhead walks, and then my back extensions. Really, real standard session. Pretty happy with my execution on the things that required higher execution, like the block power cleans. Again, I could be better with the straight leg deadlifts, but that will be me in the future, right? Thank you for watching. Shoots.